Hello viewers, this is another episode from Home Builders Initiative. I remain the convener, Princess Sandra Emeke Zewani. Today we are going to be talking about a very important topic that I'm sure that a lot of youth will be very glad that we are doing this today, because it has come to my knowledge that a lot of youth are very scared of getting into marriage. To do justice to this topic, I have a very beautiful, very intelligent, very wonderful lady with me. She's the person of Ada Okoro. Ada Okoro, you're welcome to this show.
Thank you, ma'am.
I've gotten a lot of complaints from different youth, different young ladies, young men being scared of marriage. And I don't know, what's your take on this? Do you want to agree with them? Do you think there's any reason why young ladies and men should get married, get scared about getting into marriage?
Yes.
Oh, can we hear you out, please?
Yes, really from my own point of view, I'm actually scared of marriage because of how the society has actually marginalized the female in society. Being in Nigeria is even more tougher. I feel like marriage it's a modern day way of slavery where I should just be treated anyhow, treated as a minority and still keep quiet just for peace to reign and let everyone know that I'm happy when I come out so that I pretend like my marriage is perfect. Well, we all know that marriage is not actually perfect as we see it today.
So for you listening to me today, just in case you have the same mindset with the other, I want to send this message to you, that marriage is not all that you think it is. There is always the sweet side of marriage. Marriage is not perfect, as Ada pointed out, that she thought that marriage was perfect. Marriage is not perfect. There is no marriage that is perfect. It is the two people that are inside this relationship that decides to make this marriage a very beautiful one. So it is important for you that is there listening to me, thinking that you are scared. All I want you to do is to work on yourself psychologically, that my own marriage will not be like that. Now you ask yourself, I want to go into marriage. Am I ready and prepared? Because sometimes what brings such issues are the fact that we are not ready. The fact that we did not bring something to the table to say these are going to be our terms. These are going to be the things that we need to achieve in our marriage. If you listen to my previous post, I talked about connecting points. When two people have a connecting point, part of their connecting point is to make sure that things in the home are done properly. When things are done properly, the children raised in that marriage will be raised with a proper mindset about everything of concerning life, including marriage. So it is very important we understand that. Come to modern slavery. Yes, women in Africa do not really have a voice. But I ask myself, do I really need to shout outside for people to know that I have a voice? You are not supposed to make noise. Your marriage is you and your spouse inside your own space. It is for both of you to understand and discover what language do we understand, so that you don't feel marginalized. You don't start having that self-pity. Who will I speak to? Who will listen to me? Your marriage does not need anybody to listen to you. It is you. Determine that it will work and go back to do some assignment on why it has to work. And then you swing into action. Because sometimes self-pity comes. And that is why I don't like dwelling in self-pity. Tell yourself that I have every right to make it work without shouting, without making noise, without even the third party knowing what is happening, and then you will see it work. Because sometimes too much of these voices is what comes down to the home and destroys the home. When a fellow woman sits down to tell you, listen to me, I will not take it. If it is in the states will give you power. You are not in the States. You are here in Africa. So let her hold the States and stay in the States while you figure out what works for you in this place so that you can be happy. A lot of women will come and tell you, if it is me, when he slaps me, I will slap him back. Meanwhile, when you follow her to her house, they punch her every day and night, and she has never mentioned it to you. What am I trying to say? Our voice is supposed to be within the confines of our home, with our spouse. We don't need to be loud, so that we can understand that it is what we make out of marriage that marriage becomes. So don't see marriage as a modern slavery. No, it is not. It is what you make your marriage to be that your marriage will be. So adjust that mentality of women not having a voice, of women being marginalized, of women being abused, because there are some men that are abused in marriage as well. So I don't want to agree in the gender thing. Let us start coming back from that thing of gender, because it has not helped us in the past. She should come back to the confines of the home to have this discussion, this voice of the thing with her spouse in the home. It's very important.
Ma, there's actually a question I have.
Okay, good.
Are we trying to blame the women for being marginalized in the home? You talked about the boy should be kept in the house with a man and a woman. But sometimes even within the home, with the extended family, they actually come into your homes. Most men, they are too attached to their family that even their mothers try to control their homes. And we find we young girls, we have problems of mother-in-law problems. Most of them want to just take charge and getting fault from not unnecessary things. Maybe the way you serve your husband, the food you give your husband is different from what she actually gives him before. And they don't like it when maybe you want to take advantage of the situation, you are now their wife, and to push them away from them. But really, it's not really just from the outside, the third part. Sometimes it's hard to dwell even within the family.
Before we come back to this question, we'll go on a quick break. And by the time we'll return, we'll be doing justice to this question that she has just raised. Thank you. Welcome to Doubt Your Faith. We're back. Like I said, we're going to do justice to her questions. And if you followed Ada's question, like, I think it's a long story, but what she was trying to say is, could it be the fault of the woman? And when we talk about third party, it's family, it still boils down to family. Anybody that is aside you and your husband is counted as third party. Be it your mother-in-law, your relatives, your siblings, your own father, they are counted as third party. So when you say these people are not third party, that they are part of the family, it is a no-no. The day you took the vow in the altar, if at all you went to the altar or to the registrar, you have just one person, you and your spouse. Anybody aside these two persons is the third person and is a third party. So you need to understand, because from your question, it meant that you don't have a proper knowledge of what third party is. Anybody aside you and your spouse is a third party, and they should not be given any room to come to your marriage, if at all you want to enjoy your marriage. Because people that come in as third party come in with their own sentiments. If your mother-in-law comes, she comes to stand with your husband. If your own mother comes, she comes to stand with you against your husband. So you'll find out that it will always be cat and dog in the relationship. So the best thing is to shut everybody out and focus on what you want to achieve from your own marriage, because you have children to raise, you have children to impact in their life. You want to raise children that are sound, that will not be scared of marriage tomorrow. It is very important that you go back to your bedroom and raise that your voice inside the bedroom and forget about the society. Then when you ask me if it is the woman's fault that she's marginalized, like I told you, I do not accept that word that a woman is marginalized. You have the voice, the same voice that a man has, depending on your understanding and what you have decided for your home. Don't tag your marriage alongside with other marriages. Every marriage is unique. Just as you, Ada, you're very unique. So as your younger sister, if you have one, is unique. People can only say this is Ada's sister, but they can never say this is Ada. That's how marriages are. It is high time people begin to focus on their marriage and build the exact picture that they have about their marriage. When we started this initiative, the first topic we treated was that marriage is like a picture. You draw the picture you want your marriage to be like. And I encouraged the younger ladies that came for that seminar. I said, go home and draw what your dream picture of your marriage is like, because it helps you to fit in things the way they ought to be. I gave an instance. I said, I have been with my husband for over 16 years and still counting. I have never for one day, when I say one day, I mean one day, mentioned anything to my mother or to my siblings. They have never for one day stepped into my affairs with my husband because I chose it that way. From the beginning of the marriage, we said it is us. Even if we're going to pull this roof down, it is two of us that will pull it down by ourselves, rebuild it if we think of rebuilding it, and we shut our door to third party. Not even his siblings, not even his own parents have ever dared to come close to the affairs of the marriage. I
feel maybe some people are lucky in this institution called marriage, while some of us are not probably lucky because I'm not yet married.
I will correct the word lucky. Everybody is meant to be lucky. I am trying to work on your mindset so that you begin to have a clear picture of what you want. Forget about the lives of your parents. They are living their life. They are not you.
But they have actually brought this stigma living with me right now.
You can take it off. That is why you are in this program. And that's why you're listening to me. Except you have locked up yourself that I want to live with the pain of what I saw. It is for you to understand that if there are people that are lucky, then count yourself as one. Don't tag yourself unlucky, because I don't accept that somebody should tell me I am lucky. Not to talk of me telling myself I am unlucky, that I am not lucky. I mean, I take it as an insult. So if there are people that are lucky in life, count yourself as one. Not minding what the society or the world has thrown to you. They say if the society throws lemons to you, what do you do with it? Lemonade. And lemonade is juice that we go to supermarket to do what? To buy. It is bitter, but it has its medicine, the medicine aspect of it. The good health, the health benefits out of it. So that means whatever bitter the society or the world has thrown to you, there are some important lessons that you're going to pick up and move on. You don't allow the negativity of yesterday to control your life or to determine if you're going to be positive or negative. It is a decision you need to make. And so as I'm talking to others, I'm talking to every you that is out there that is so pained by what they have seen their parents do. It's so unfortunate that parents do not know the adverse effect these things have on their children. But I tell the people that are of age, yes, you have gone through it. I have a lady that came for a show. She's about 40 years. And she's still scared of marriage. Today she's not married. But after talking with her, because she came to the show and she asked the question, She said something concerning abuse and all that. But thank God that after we had our conversation, she had another mindset about marriage. You don't allow yesterday to determine tomorrow. And lest I forget, there was something you talked about, being in love with somebody for 5 years, and the family wants you to go into a relationship that just started 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, you were talking about marriage. There is something I want to remind you of, just in case you don't know. You're a full adult. And a full adult that has her own opinion about life. And I want us to understand that this thing called marriage is between two persons. There must be mutual agreement. If you don't agree with what or with the spouse that your parents are preparing for you, please, I will tell you to step back. At the end of the day, your parents will not welcome you back home when you go and want to return. And I'm not sure that there is anybody that wants to go into marriage today and walk out of that marriage tomorrow. And that's one thing this initiative is kicking against. We don't have any reason to separate or go into divorce because the marriage is not favorable. So from the day one, you need to understand that it is a choice you make. Whether the person is wealthy enough, whether the person is handicapped, whether the person is whatsoever, if you have fallen in love with that person and your heartbeat says go, please go. Because what will sustain you is what you feel inside your heart, not necessarily what the society throws at you. Not even money can save marriage. If money is what sustains marriage, then we'll know that all these marriages that are done by wealthy people in the society, spending loads of money just to put up a wedding, and before you know what is happening, it is in the dustbin. The marriage certificate is in the dustbin. It wouldn't be happening. So there is something bigger than money that sustains marriage, and it is here. So if you have it here, for anybody, follow your heart.
So, Ma, how can I actually convince my parents to accept the person I choose to spend the rest of my life with?
Okay, I don't want to go too spiritual, but I will tell you, as a Christian, growing up, I wanted God to tell me, I wanted to have a good marriage. As a young lady, I was praying for a good marriage. And I was praying for a very wonderful man. So I don't want to take away prayers. I always tell people, if you want to make a choice of life partner, as the word says, life partner, please pray to whatever you believe. I take it again. If you want to make a decision concerning a life partner, please pray to whatever God you believe in. Because I believe whatever you believe in strongly makes impact in your life, so that you will have a direction. Your parents will see that there is a direction from God. Allow God to take charge. All you have to put before you is your happiness. Because at the end of the day, you are going to be on this journey all by yourself. There is no daddy, there is no mommy. But pray that God gives them that reason why they should be convinced with Ada's choice. My elder sister wanted to marry an Urobo man, and my dad, as a proper Igbo man, refused that she should marry the guy. And they dragged it for 1-2 years. Eventually he gave up. I said, okay, bring him home if that is who your heart goes with. Today they are happily married with 4 children. Everybody is happy. So whatever life throws to her in that marriage, she knows it's a choice, and she will gladly walk through it. But when you have marriages that are match-made by people, when things start falling apart, the blame game starts. Mom, you were the one that said I should marry. Daddy, you were the one that pushed me into this marriage. Self-pity begins to arise. The faith to stand firm, to make sure it works, dies instantly, because already you are feeling that you were used like a sacrificial lamb. So that is not supposed to come into play. If you are making a choice of marriage, you have to decide on your own that this is who I want, not because my parents want it. A lot of parents that have made choices for their children today regret their choice, but they don't know what to do. I have had a case where a mother was begging the son, says, please, for my sake, stay in this marriage. I don't want to be disgraced. If you walk out of this marriage, I will die. Why do you have to go to this extent? Just to please your selfish interests. And today you are the mercy of that boy. Because anytime the boy needs something, he goes back to his mom. If you don't give it to me, I am walking out of. So it's not like they are paying ransom for the marriage to continue to move. Which means if the woman closes her eyes today, she's gone. Then the boy can walk out. So it's like a time bomb waiting to what? Explode. So it is very important that if you know you're an adult, you have gotten to the level or to the age of an adult, decision concerning your life starts with you first before another. So I hope you already have another mindset concerning marriage, because I don't want to believe you're still scared.
No, I feel much better. I really want to use this opportunity to thank Home Builders Initiative. I think that actually helped me. There are things I didn't really know that I could actually come out of those rooms that have been built in the past. I feel good. Thank you, Ma.
I'm so happy that you're feeling good. I'm so happy you're going on with a different mindset. And I'm sure you that is out there that is listening to me, just in case you're going through the same thing that I is going through, having this fear of marriage, please, it's high time you understand that you create your own picture of what you want your marriage to be. It is all in your own powers to do that. Don't be influenced by what you saw in the past. Focus your mind on what you want out of marriage. It is a personal decision. So start deciding now what you want before you get into it. And trust me, you will have a beautiful home. I'm sure you have heard it all. I feel so bad of what parents put their children through. So I want to talk to a parent today. If you're listening to me, there are some decisions that we take in our homes that affect our children badly. It might not affect them today, but it lives with them. It's inside them. It determines their future. It shapes their future. It takes struggle for some of them to come out of that adverse effect that they must have gone through because of the decisions and because of the movies or the dramas that we acted in our homes. So I want to speak to you that is a parent listening to me. Please be mindful of what you do in your homes. There are children that are there, and whatever you do has effect on them, either in the positive way or in the negative way. I don't think there is any parent that wants to have negative effect on their children. So let's be very mindful of this. And I want to talk to parents as well. When it comes to choice of life partner, please, parents, be open to what your child's decision or choice of spouse is. It is very important. A lot of marriages are shutting down, breaking, just because the two people in it are not compatible. And these things are supposed to be determined even before the I do is being said. But parents brainwash their children and force them into what they know they cannot sustain for too long because there is no compatibility. It is very important that we start playing that key role. Raise your child and teach your child what being responsible is. Then when your child grows to that age that he or she is supposed to take a very responsible decision concerning the future of his life or her life, please, parents, stand by his side and encourage them. With that, all the tantrums that are thrown into marriage, they can be able to pass through it and come out strong, so that the blame game will no longer play again. Violence is a no-no. Violence is a no-no. I take it again. Violence is a no-no. Be it from the man, be it from the woman. Do not raise your hands over each other, especially before your children. Don't even do it in the closet, not to talk of doing it in front of the kids, because it is something that comes back to live with your children. And I don't think you want to have a child that is not sound. I don't think any parent will want her daughter to go to marriage and the guy in the relationship will beat her to death. So don't do what you wouldn't want to be done to your own child, to another man's child. It is very important. So I want to leave you with this message. Please, parent your children when they are growing. When they become of age to take their responsibility, give them that space so that they can do it. They are full-grown adults. Very important. On this note, we want to say bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, HomebuildersTv. It is very important you key in, because we're going to be having loads of activities going on our channel. And also, please tag us on our Instagram page, HomebuildersTv_initiative, and stay tuned. Do you want to support what is happening? Do you feel like partnering with us? Please come on board. We are ready to open. It's thanks from Home Builders Initiative. See you. Ciao.